All right. Wondering if you can hear me now. Maybe not. Interesting. Can you hear me now? Oh, I changed the microphone, then I changed it back. So I don't know. Can you hear me now with this microphone? Maybe it's this microphone. You're not able to. Okay. Hopefully you can hear it now. Hmm. Yeah, maybe just switching my mic to a different one and then back to this one. Hopefully that worked. Okay, great. Perfect. Yeah, I was just sharing that we can go ahead and jump into we'll just have like a moment of grounding and arriving here in this space and give some time if others want to come and join us. We will have that time for them. So if you want to find a comfortable place, maybe just do any movements in your body. Yeah, getting into feeling your body, whether, it's morning for you, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, just tuning in to how your body feels in this moment. Yeah. And then allowing those shoulders to drop, taking a deep breath. And if you would like to, you can close your eyes as well. Just tuning into your breath and the natural rhythm of it rising and falling. And feeling the connection between your body and the seat below you. Between your body and the earth below you. As gravity holds you in this place, feel that energy like an embrace from the earth. And then that feeling that flow and connection between your body and the earth. When you inhale, feel that energy rise from the earth into you. And as you exhale, feel the energy flow back down from you into the earth. And just sensing into this connection for a few rounds of breath. And feeling that breath, as you inhale, expand through your whole body. And as you exhale, feeling yourself relax and let go. And we'll just take one last deep inhale together. As you exhale, gently release and you can breathe your eyes open if they were closed. Fully arriving in your space, in your body. Oh, hello, hello, LB. Welcome. Yeah. This is exciting. I was saying when my mic was off and you couldn't hear me that I have not done a live session in a really long time. And this is my first one on Substack, as probably a lot of you have been with me over on Insight Timer. So yeah, I'm just expecting a small intimate group of us here today, but that feels nice and cozy for this time. So I'm glad you're all here. Yeah. So I do have, let me see here. Let's do our we do a cycle check-in when I hold lives or circles. I like to do a cycle check-in. If you are new to a cycle check-in, you can either connect with, if you track your menstrual cycle, where you are, what day you are in your menstrual cycle, or what season, if you're not quite sure what day you're in. If you don't and you want to track with the lunar cycle, you can connect with the day of the lunar cycle as well. And that's just giving, a connection to that energy that changes, throughout the whole cycle. And if you want to share just how you're doing, what cycle day you're on, and how you're doing today. Anybody know what lunar day we are on? I still mainly track with my menstrual cycle. Have not yet gotten out of my cycle is still pretty regular, even though here and there it does change. But sure, one day I will get to that tracking with the lunar cycle and later in my perimenopause journey. But I know our full moon was on Wednesday, at least Wednesday where I am. We're now on Saturday. So we are in that the beginning of the waning season for the lunar cycle. I just don't know exactly what day it is. For myself, I am cycle day 3 today. So I am in my inner winter. And yeah, I am feeling, let me see, I haven't had a chance to reflect yet this morning. So I am feeling, I'm feeling relatively in tune and connected. And after quite a sticky, vulnerable, tender moving into my inner winter, I feel a lot more grounded and centered here today on day 3. So that feels lovely. And I just remembered that I didn't silence my phone. So I'm going to do that so don't get distracted as well. Okay. It is lunar day 19. Okay. Great. Lunar day 19. Yeah. So the lunar cycle and the earthly season cycle is lining up here on Lughnasadh, which I really love. And for a long time, my menstrual cycle was aligned with the earthly seasons as well, just not today, which is fine. So this time of the year, Lughnasadh, or sometimes you'll hear it called Lamas, is the crossover space between summer and the summer solstice and the autumn equinox. Actually, the midway point is August 5th. So I like to call these cross-quarter times seasons, because there's not like a specific astrological happening, that is going on with the solstice and the equinox. It's more of a transition as we're moving from one season to the next season. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be on calendar day, August 1st. So for those that are watching this replay later, still that same energy for this beginning of August time. And so that is the time of the cycle that would be around between days 18 and 20. If you have, like a 28-day menstrual cycle or the 29.5-day lunar cycle, around that 18 to 20, which today we are day 19 in the lunar cycle. So that does align pretty greatly for us today. And really not day 29, but keep missing a month due to menopause. Big energy and on a roller coaster. Yeah, I feel you. Mine is like, oh, I'll be regular for 3-4 months, and then I'll throw a wrench and make one really long, and then I'll throw another one and make it really short, and then keep you on your toes guessing, and then back to regular. So my cycle this time was 28 days. So we'll see where it goes from here. And you're feeling day 19 energy. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Nice. All right. So here we are at Lughnasadh. Oh, Havu, you are cycle day 19, aligning with the moon. Very much into my autumn. Last cycle was 19 days. This will be some days longer, low energy in mood and lots of anxiety. Yeah, sending easeful energy for that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just share a little bit about Lughnasadh. If this is your, first time hearing about it, or if you're very familiar, just sort of the energy that this time of the year holds. But before we get into that, I would love to just take a moment to look outside if you're able to. I have a window right behind my screen, so that's where I like to put my desk, right beside a window, or a door that is easy for me to take my mind off, or take my eyes off the screen and look outside to reorient myself in in nature, which is nice. So if you have a place that you're able to look outside and just take a moment to allow your eyes to wander through the landscape, through whatever you're able to see. Just notice if anything stands out for you. And if you can hear anything happening outside, just noticing if, you could hear the energy of Lughnasadh in nature. And then just bringing your mind to awareness, maybe over the past day or few days, anything that you have noticed that kind of tells you what's happening this season, the energy that this season is holding. And if you want to share any of those insights, I would love to hear. Love to hear what is happening. Right now for me, the sun just came through. It was very overcast and gray this morning. And there the sun goes behind the cloud again. I can't see the sun, but I can see it streaming down through the trees that are in my yard. And so, Yeah, it's that like the opening and closing, which feels feels like this reciprocity of sort of like this give and receive, which is a beautiful energy for this time of year as we move into harvest season. So I'll be holding on to that. And not right now, but yesterday and the day before, there has been this, it's called a hackberry emperor butterfly that I think I've only identified and seen once or twice before in the last few years since I've been looking for butterflies. And so it came, and I have just a very small little side porch right behind this window, and there's a post there. And it came and sat on that post. It did it yesterday and it did it the day before. So I'm going to see if it does it again today. But it felt like a little gift of like seeing a lot more creatures and beings here at our new house that we just moved in at the end of June. And a lot of it feels like a welcoming that I wasn't able to be with that many creatures at our old house. We didn't have very much space, and there was it was really densely crowded. And so it feels like a gift to be able to have these connections with these um, creatures now. So very, very happy to see the hackberry emperor butterfly. Even though the hackberry tree, which we don't have any that I've seen around here, is their only host. So I'm wondering where it's coming from, but um, that'll be some more learning and investigating for that. I was sharing it's been very warm and sunny days, deeply green, rowan berries getting their lovely orange color. Seen lots of young birds practicing flying before they soon start heading south. Yeah, we have a lot of blue jays, and we have two large spruce trees in the yard, and the blue jays must love the spruce trees because they have been all around. And yesterday I picked one of their feathers off the ground, but there was a clump of feathers, and I was wondering, oh, are they going through like the shedding season right now? I don't know as much about birds, but something that got me curious that I now want to look up. Is this the shedding season for some of these birds? You know, the blue jays stay here year round. So I'm wondering, yeah, if they're molting and getting ready to have some new feathers come in as they prepare for the winter, the darker half of the year that is coming. So that was also something that came yesterday. However, the biggest change is now at night it gets dark for a while. Yeah. Yeah. Living in Finland, I know it's yeah, quite a big difference between the summer and the winter with that light and dark timing. It's easier to see. Right now, it still feels very similar, even though the sun is setting about 20 minutes earlier than it did on the summer solstice. But it feels so gradual here that it's kind of hard to miss unless you are at one end or the other. But I'm sure it's much easier to see the differences day by day there. And Melinda, my energy is the Tower card. Oh, big changes as sorting through and getting rid of all my possessions to move abroad. Big shadows coming up to work through. I'm deep in therapy work. Energy feels like I could climb a mountain, then dancing around to try and release. It's cloudy here, but the clouds are bright white. And I'm shedding my hair. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those big transitions, they take a lot of energy and a lot of work, and our body does things like sheds, hair to, yeah, feeling like that's a energetic sign of, releasing and letting go and making space for the new to come in, that life, death, rebirth cycle. And the Tower card, yeah, holds that energy perfectly, that releasing, letting go. Yeah, I've been enjoying reading through your reflections throughout this time and reflecting on what it was like during my own time. It's very interesting because I moved abroad when I was 25. Was I 25? Yeah, I was 25. And it would be so interesting to do that now. And I feel like when I was 25, it was just like it's this grand adventure. And I didn't do any work ahead of time. I was just like, you know, I'm just like throwing everything to the wind and jumping in. It was like a full moment, right? I'm just like, I'm ready for the grand big adventure. And then didn't realize when I got to India, how things came crashing down in the first couple years because I didn't do any work what was going to happen during the culture shock and all of the changes and everything. So yeah, I love hearing about people that have like done the work and are going through like those big changes and how different they can feel like in the body and how much more resource you can be whenever you are in that space. So, the Tower was on the top when I grabbed my cards too. Oh, yeah. It is synchronizing. I'm scared of things crashing down still. Yeah, definitely. Even when I pull the Tower card, I'm always like, it always like a bracing, right? You feel that bracing in your body, like, ooh, what's coming? What's to come? And it's always worse in my mind than it actually turns out to be. So that's kind of a comfort, that, okay, my mind can create these scenarios and these situations that are much worse than the reality. So if that's anything to lean on. Yeah. Thank you for sharing those lovely pieces. Yeah, so I'll just quickly share about Lughnasadh and the energy here, and then we'll jump into our journaling time together. So this is the first of the 3 harvest festivals. So we have Lughnasadh, we have the autumn equinox, and then we have Samhain, which is our 3 harvest festivals. And here, like I said, is the midpoint between the summer solstice and the autumn equinox. And as it's the first harvest, the things that are coming into the things that are ripe to be harvested now are the grains and fruits and fruits and berries. So like Havu shared about the rowan berries getting ready to be harvested. Yeah, so this again is that time between the summer and the autumn. So there is like a shifting, and what I shared in my last post, for me, it feels more like a pause. And I think about, what was happening in the end of March through April, May, even into like the beginning of June. There's so much life that is being born. All the flowers, the trees are leafing out, everything is coming into fullness. Then, we celebrate that fullness at the summer solstice. And then after here in this midpoint, nothing is really like happening. And maybe it's because I don't have fields of grain outside right now to see those being at their point of harvesting. I have noticed the berries. We do have a lot of wild black raspberries on the trails and things that I walk on. Have noticed a lot more mushrooms fruiting out and ready to be picked. And so, but for me, like the air, like the quality of the light, things like that, it feels just like there's a like we're at the top of that inhale, just like that breath has come in and we're just pausing and waiting for then it to go out with the autumn time ahead. And yeah, I don't think I've ever really connected to that energy until this year. And I've really enjoyed it that there is this presence of stillness and just pausing. And especially for this time, the beginning, end of July, beginning of August, there's still a lot of activity. Like there's still like festivals going on and farmers markets and, people are going on vacations and doing, all these adventures and outdoor things. And yeah, I love the fullness of that and love that there's this invitation just to be in that space and not really like, we don't have to do anything about it. We can just be in that. And I love that. Mm. Melinda's flying to Thailand on the autumn equinox. So it's like I've got this season now until then. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. Flying on the autumn equinox. That also feels quite synchronistic. That time of, yeah, balancing. You're like shifting from one place to the next. And it's like taking with you from the past and integrating into the future and holding that in that one space as you fly across the world. That's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So let us start with our journaling and pulling some cards for ourselves. So if you have your journal, if you have a deck with you that you want to use, I have four prompts for us. If you don't have a deck and you just want to journal along, you can do that. I will be sharing the cards I pull, and I'll share a little bit about those cards. If you don't have cards yourself and you want to connect with the energy of the cards that I pull as well, we can do that. The deck that I felt called to today is Tarot of the Owls by Pamela Chen, and I feel like owls. I feel like they represent the energy of this season in the way that I feel like they my whole deck is messed up front and back and upside down. Get them in order here and there they go. Yeah, like they carry the wisdom and coming out at night. But I feel like they embody that both and very well in that transition space. This deck has been very, very good for me to use for transitions. So yeah, maybe that's why it felt called to use it today, this season of Lughnasadh transitioning from summer to autumn. So there we are. Okay. A Sufi tarot deck. Love that. All right. Just gonna get my Okay. So we'll go ahead and go through our four prompts to pull our cards. And if you want to share after, we'll have a little sharing after each card. I will share the card I picked if you don't have one, and what came through for me. And then if you want to share at all what card came through for you. If you want any feedback on your card, have any questions about it, feel free to put that in, and I can always share what came up for me as well. So, I don't want that color. I don't want that color. I use color markers for my journal, and I have them in this container that I can't see the color until I pull it out. Um, and I pulled out gray for the first one, and that's just not the color I want. Orange and pink. Those are the colors I want. Okay. So today is Saturday, August 1st, and I am day 3. When I write in my journal, I always put the day, the date, and what cycle day I am. So day 3 for me, like I shared earlier. All right, so our first card is going to be, what am I grateful for? So this is an invitation to, look back over the past season, whether that's, past month, past earthly season, past cycle, whether it's through like the whole past year, whatever time frame you want to look back through, whatever this card brings up maybe for you, and share what you are grateful for. So I'll just give it a few minutes in silence while I pull the card, and I will write a few things myself and then open it up to share anything that came through. So, what am I grateful for? All right, take another moment if you need to write out that. And we'll go ahead and share a little bit. The first one, what am I grateful for? And the card I pulled, yeah, the deck is spot on, at least for the first one. We'll see what the other ones bring, but our first one here is the Four of Wands. Ooh, that's kind of hard to see there. It's better to see there. The Four of Wands. So we have the two owls that are dancing and celebrating, in in the boundaries of these four wands, almost looking like maypoles, with the flowers and everything on them. So this card, yeah, it really is a card of celebrating. It's a card of, being grateful and filling ourselves with abundance and joy. And it's really celebrating the steps you have taken in life to build solid foundations. For me, the thing that comes up in this is our house, and so like I said, we just moved into this house the end of June, and although it needs a lot of work, and one of the reasons we bought it was because it needs a lot of work, and I want to restore it and fix it up, and there is just such good energy here on the land, and I have such dreams about making it really beautiful in this sacred, like, sanctuary type space, that I'm really leaning into that gratitude, for this space, the physical space here. And then also just looking at the practices that I have started over this last season, one of them being my writing practice, and joining my writing group that I go to like almost every single day now. And it has sparked so much creativity and really feels like it's setting up a foundation for some goals I have, like writing a book, which I have started. I've started writing my first book. So that feels really like something to be grateful for and to celebrate. And this Four of Wands, that invitation to stay with that energy so that we can keep manifesting and bringing about the goals and the dreams that we have and want for our life. Keep piling on those bricks to build that foundation and then build it into the dream of our reality. So that feels really yummy. Melinda got the Ace of Coins, grateful for inner and outer resources, a new start, abundance mindset, strong body, and physical energy. Oh, that's a beautiful one for the gratitude. Definitely. Yeah, if anybody else is here and wants to share your card, go ahead and share that as well. And then, yeah, move on to card number 2. Hmm. So the second card, thinking about, what you're grateful for, what card came up for the first one. The second one is now, what am I harvesting this season? So thinking about from now until the equinox, what has been building up that is ripening, and now that you can harvest that, gather that energy in. So Habu sharing the Five of Cups, grateful for all the hard work I've been doing to release pain, trauma, disappointments. It's been challenging, and I do feel gratitude towards myself for doing the work to move forward. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I feel like is that also I feel like in the deck that I usually use, the 5 of cups usually shows, like, 4 cups have, like, fallen over and have emptied, but yet there's still 1 cup that is full, and, yeah, it's that, like, "Oh, I've done all this hard work, and I've had to let go and release all of these things, and it has really filled up this 5th cup that I can be grateful for," and, yeah, I love that framing that you put around it there. Hmm. Okay, so, like I said, our second card, what am I harvesting this season? So from now through till the autumn equinox, um, what is ready what is ready to be like, what dreams have you had that are ready to be enacted, to be realized, and that are ready to harvest this season? So I'll give us a couple minutes to go ahead and pull our card and write that down. The puppy is dreaming right now. She's behind me. Mhm. Who knew? All right, so I just got. I am technically. I am technically at work right now. This is very interesting for this card. I will share how this is coming up for this card, but um, my my spouse and we have a business, and he works on Saturdays, and so I have a very light load on Saturday, but the one thing I do is answer the phone calls and text messages from customers. Whenever he's out and about doing things, I need to know, like, if they're not available and need to reschedule, or like what's happening for them. And somebody did. I had the phone on vibrate and it went off, and somebody is wanting to reschedule. So, I think he is on his way there, and I may need to, call him to tell him to stop driving that direction and go on to a different place. So, I don't know if I can, mute myself here. I can give him a quick call. Let's see. Okay, I have everything is situated. All right, so the card that I pulled is the Two of Pentacles. So there's my Two of Pentacles. We see the owl with the two coins, pentacles, and the infinity sign going between them. And yeah, I mean, the card is a card of balance, right? So I was just writing down about harvesting balance, and the balance between doing the things I have to do that I'm not really good at, that are more draining for my energy, with the things that I love to do, that I'm good at, and I feel like really affirm and encourage and build up my energy. And so it was very, very funny because I was exactly thinking about, this work I do in the business with my partner, is like admin details, like spreadsheets. Like, I do not like that work at all. It is really exhausting for my brain to do. And but I know that, if I want to eat food, because that's where we get our income from. And so if I want to actually survive, I need to be able to do these things for us and our family, and to be able to do the things we want to do. And so balancing that with like the more creative and community based, like being here on live and sharing these rituals and things with you, are what I love to do and feel like they really do give me life. They're life affirming things. And so just sharing about, I was just writing about, I feel like I've gotten a lot better with that over these past few months, and balancing out those different energies that that give and that take, that life affirming and that life draining. And that is my call and intention to keep finding that rhythm and that balance and that flow between the things I have to do to keep living and surviving, and the things that I want to do that really give me life and help me to thrive, move into that thriving space. So that was the Two of Pentacles for me. And it came at the exact same time that I needed to um, hold that balance between something I needed to do and something I love to do. Mm. Yeah, the cards just know today. So Melinda, you got the King of Coins, harvesting the fruits of my hard work to have this fresh start, the inner and the outer work. It says the message is I can have the life of my dreams, open my heart to others, I will receive from the universe. Ooh, I love that. And I have seen even here on Substack, Melinda, that you have just been opening up your heart to others, and that's been really beautiful to see that and to see your willingness to connect and be supportive to a lot of people here. It's beautiful, and I've seen you be able to receive that in return because you've entered that space. So that's really beautiful. And Havu got the Two of Swords, be harvesting confidence to make a decision when all the options I have are really not ideal. I feel I will harvest some trust in myself with the difficult lack of choices. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel that with the Two of Swords energy. Yeah, it's kind of like when you only have two options and neither one of them feel really great, but you have to make the choice. It's kind of like, yeah, that trusting in that even though this isn't the greatest option out of all the possibilities I can imagine, maybe taking that first step and making that first choice will then open up greater possibilities for the next step in the journey. The Two of Swords blighted me for years. Yeah, there's some of those cards that just like come and like stalk you for a while. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, on to our third card. Mhm. All right. This is our card of what am I releasing, letting go of? I love to think about the harvest seasonings, like we're seasoning some meat. I love to think about the harvest season as this twofold energy where we are gathering those things that we're grateful for, the abundance, the joy, the plenty, from thinking about corn right now. So corn here in the U.S. is a very big crop, and it is the corn season right now. And so we are harvesting like just those ears of corn, right? So just like this one small part of the whole entire plant, and that is the part that we're taking in. We're relishing in that joy of eating the corn. And yet, what's left in the fields afterwards are like these large stalks that are just standing there. And so there is this twofold energy of gathering in and of releasing and letting go. So it's kind of like that stalk supported that ear of corn to grow, from the seed to the roots to the stalk growing tall, everything in support of this of the fruits of the labor, right? The corn or the berries or the wheat, that we get. But then there is that support system is no longer needed. It's done. It's done its job, and now it's ready to be composted and let go of and go back into the earth. So that is the twofold energy that I like to hold throughout these three harvest seasons that we move through. So our third card is what am I releasing, letting go of? So thinking about maybe something has been very supportive for you in years past, and maybe it's not as supportive anymore, or you've grown beyond it, that you don't need it anymore. Whether that is something physical, whether it is a relationship, whether it is an emotional story, anything that, comes up for you for this next card. What am I releasing, letting go of? So give us a couple of minutes to do that one. All right, taking one more moment with that one. All right. So for me, I pulled the 7 of Wands for this one. My light's really not great to look at these, but if you can see it, there's the owl in the middle, and then we've got these 6 wands and the 7th wand here around in the background. And yeah, this is interesting because for me, this just came up in my therapy session this week, talking about self-preservation, and when our idea of self-preservation is more harmful for connection than it is for actually protecting ourselves, like, because it's coming not from a place, it's coming from a story of some hurt or some trauma that has happened rather than from reality that we actually need to protect ourselves from. And so that I have been thinking about and processing what boundaries I may need to reevaluate, whether they are necessary and whether they are harming my connection with others, and in which ones do I want to kind of soften a bit so that maybe I can be more vulnerable and more open to connecting in different relationships. Let's see what else I wrote down. Yeah, so feeling like sometimes I put up walls and put up boundaries as like a false protection because it has made me safe in the past, but maybe I no longer need that. Maybe I no longer need that boundary to feel safe because I have grown and I have more wisdom and maturity and strength that I can handle putting some of those down or making them translucent, maybe, so I can see through them. Yeah. I was just thinking about, in particularly my neighbors. Like I said, we just moved to this neighborhood about 6 weeks ago, the end of June. And one of the neighbors across the street came over just one day this past week and had said, we were having just a conversation, and they said that for the past two families that have lived in this house, there have been problems in the neighborhood about, and I know the people that lived here before us did not take care of the place. They let it get pretty run down, and we have a lot of work ahead of us, but it made me really self-conscious. And I have been thinking a lot about, yeah, that difference between like wanting to protect my image as a community member in this community, the perception of what our house looks like and what the yard looks like compared to who I really am. And so, yeah, maybe some of those boundaries that I have put up to try and protect the image aren't really helpful to actually connect and show the neighbors like who I truly am, like who our family truly is. And that was really beautiful because it was just yesterday I was cleaning up something in the yard, and neighbors on the other side of us that I hadn't met yet came walking past, and we had a really lovely chat. And they said that like, oh, it looks like you're doing like such great things, and we're really excited to see, how it changes. Our house is the ugly one in the neighborhood. So I'm, yeah, really looking forward to putting down some of those walls to connect with people here. Thinking about that in relationships throughout my life right now, and how I can step out of those comfort zones and, yeah, choose connection rather than boundaries and walls. And knowing that I can trust myself to put those boundaries and walls up when I need to. Mm. Okay. Went off on a little bit there, but thanks for listening. Melinda, we got the full release the childlike innocence of going into the unknown instead of going with eyes wide open and full knowledge of my shadows. I love that. There was somebody on here. I think she calls herself the Business Witch here on Substack, and she had posted a note last week, the week before, sometime, reframing the full in like this perimenopause, menopause, crone type energy. And that's really has got me thinking differently about the full, moving from that like childlike innocence, the like when I moved to India at 25, the like, yes, let's adventure, let's go for it. And not really thinking about the consequences, what was going to happen once I got there. But it is that, like, okay, I see with eyes wide open. I have all of the wisdom from years past, and I am ready to take that step into the adventure. Um, yeah, so that's really beautiful and brings that up. And how I got the hermit, releasing the hermit season of my life that's lasted for years, feel called to be more social, be more out into the world and create and give back to community. I will take all the wisdom the season has given me and letting go. Oh, I like that so much. You know, we've been talking about in our elemental grove, which is for the paid subscribers here on Substack. We are in our fire season, and so we've been talking a lot about, you know, the creativity spark that we can get here, connecting with the fire element and the summer season. And yeah, those calls to be more social and be more out in the world and to really, yeah, really shine in that space. So I love that. Love that. Thanks for sharing. Okay, our last one. So, this upcoming season, how can I show more appreciation for myself? How can you celebrate yourself more? How can you appreciate yourself more? Be proud of yourself more? Thinking about, you know, in menstrual cycle awareness, this time of the season between the inner summer and the inner autumn, the sacred invitation is to celebrate yourself. It is to build yourself up so that when you get into the inner autumn, that premenstrual phase, you have a greater resiliency. You have more resources because you have built yourself up and celebrating and being proud. That it takes a lot more for the critic to tear you down. And I love that same energy here with the earthly season as well. And it's on just, you know, a larger scale that we see the beauty of the summer in the longer light and all of these things coming into harvest that we can be grateful for and the abundance and the joy that we can feel. And let's take time to like fill ourselves up with that. Fill ourselves up with everything we can be grateful for and the abundance that we live in. I mean, life is really hard and there's a lot of shitty things out there. And so any moment we can take to sort of pause and fill ourselves up with the goodness of life, I think we should be doing that. And especially this time of year, because once the autumn equinox arrives, we're going to start feeling, you know, that shifting of the light if we haven't already. And we're going to start feeling that, okay, we're descending closer into the darkness. And for those that really struggle with the dark half of the year, the more we can spend building into our abundant mindset and our gratitude will help carry us through those darker times. So that's our last invitation. How can I show how can I celebrate myself more? How can I appreciate myself more? How can I build myself up in this? It doesn't only have to be you too. Build up your relationships, build up your communities, build up others, because that also builds ourselves up as well. So, however, that comes through for you in this last card. Interesting. All right, one more minute for that one. All right. So for me, I got the justice. Ooh, we got a little puppy bark back there. She's still half asleep, so must be barking in her sleep. I've got the justice card. And when I first saw this, I was like, "Oh, is this the hanged one?" Because it does look similar to it with the owl's head, upside down here. We've got the sword of justice and the scales, riding the scales. So I was a little, yeah, just I've always felt a disconnection with the justice card. And the first thing that came to me when I got this was give out what you want to receive. And so instead of sitting back and waiting for, the feelings of gratitude and joy to like come to me, I can actively participate in those by giving out joy and gratitude to others and to the earth and the things around me, and so that there is this balancing of the scales that what I give, I receive. So that was one piece that came through to me. The other one was thinking about the scales between, particularly in my mindset. So where am I leaning into that, celebrating that joy, that gratitude? And where am I leaning into the more negative, pessimistic, looking at something in a negative way rather than in the positive, looking for those silver linings, even if it's a difficult situation. And I feel like it's much easier for me to slide into that pessimism, just how, my brain has worked for so many years. Those pathways are stronger. And so it takes me a lot of work to come to a pathway of appreciation and joy, and something I have been working on with my therapist, and was just talking about this little rock that I found. I didn't find this. Can you imagine if this was just in nature as it is? That would be lovely. I did not find this. I bought this, but I found it in a shop when I was going through um, a community school program on my sabbatical year back in 2017, I think it was. And um, dragonflies had been showing up like the whole way through my sabbatical. I was on sabbatical for 9 months, I think it was. And they had just been showing up everywhere. And so I became a little bit like obsessed with these dragonflies. I found this when I went to New Mexico to go to the in-person part of the school. And then on the back, it said, "I am joyful." I don't know if that might look backwards for you, but it says, "I am joyful." And I had forgotten about this because we've moved 3 times in the past year and a half. So I had this put away in a box somewhere, and it didn't come out during our travels, or during our moving, I meant. And I was just talking in therapy 2 weeks ago, I believe, about how joy felt very distant. It was really hard to connect in with joy. And I remembered this, like, popped into my head. I was like, "Where is that? Where is that dragonfly, that says I am joyful?" And so I went searching for it, and I found it, and it's been sitting on my desk, and, a dragonfly showed up, 3, 4 days ago, um, when I was walking out on a trail, and the dragonfly showed up, and I was like, "Okay." So, leaning more into where can I find those little small moments, those pockets of joy, and how can I increase the time I spend there rather than just automatically going into the negative, the more pessimistic side. So, I guess that'll be something that I look for this coming season. All right, what else do we have? The 8 of Wands. Travel and speed, no surprise there, yeah. Celebrating the change, the big energy, usually prefer quiet energy, but no reason not to thrive with this season, yeah. I feel that, celebrate. I think I'm someone who blossoms in constant transformation, and I'm now accepting this. That's lovely. Yeah, beautiful. And we've got the Knight of Cups. I can celebrate being connected to my feelings, and I can show more appreciation towards myself by creating change that aligns with my heart. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I love that the Knight of Cups, is kind of like the romantic, um, that really like, how can I show love, right? And so it's that like, I love when we can take that energy and turn it for ourselves. Like, how can I show myself love? Like, how can my present self show my future self love? I love that too. That just came up in my writing group a day or two ago. So thinking about what can I do today that my tomorrow self will be like, "Oh, I love you. I love you, August 1st self. Thank you for doing that for me." So I've been thinking about that, as well. Like what foods could I eat today that will nourish me and feel good tomorrow? Like what movement in my body could I do today that will make me feel nice and yummy tomorrow? What what people can I reach out to that'll make me feel good tomorrow? Things like that. I love thinking about that. And that feels like the Knight of Cups energy. How can I love myself? Yeah. Past, present, and future self, all of them. Mm, beautiful. All right. Any last reflections before we close our time out together? Yeah, if you want to, um, I know some of you already have, but if you want to continue in the celebration, I just made a post for Lughnasadh, and if you want to share in the comments of that post, we are celebrating who we are and what we're grateful for in this season, in this time. So, can definitely, the invitation is there if you want to continue the practice over on that post as well. I love that for tomorrow's self. Yeah. Doing the dishes in the morning, me will feel loved. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I may do some of that myself. Um, I was just telling somebody that we still have, right, if I look here, is the front of our house, and I can see the whole way to the front door. It's just like, doorways the whole way through. And there is a box sitting beside the front door that has still not been unpacked, or the lid has been opened, but it has not been unpacked, and it has just been sitting there for 6 or 7 weeks. And I think my future self would feel loved if I unpacked that today and moved it from the front door. It's like the first thing you see when you walk in. So I think, yeah, that's a good reminder to sometimes we just need to do the practical things to feel loved. And yeah, I'm going to do that myself. Oh, this is cozy. Last time I did this in a live with you, I was just going to Thailand last time. Now I'm moving there. I had no idea what was coming. Yeah, I remember. I remember on Insight Timer, we had that live and you weren't sure if you were going to be able to come because the timing in Thailand, which it's what, like the middle of the night right now over there. So, yeah. I love that. I love that for you, Melinda. I can't wait to hear how it goes. And we are planning to go back to India next year. I think it's in the works. And if you're still there, I would love a trip because Thailand, Bangkok is only a 2-hour flight from Kolkata. So that's it's a place dear to my heart. I've spent many trips going back there too. That was sort of like my retreat from India. Like retreating from India to go to Thailand to eat good food. And have air conditioning. That was a treat. Loved that. Mm. All right. So just I just want to close us out in a way that feels good. So just coming back into that awareness of your body. Just seeing if you feel any differently than when you first came into this space. Just noticing in your body if you feel more relaxed, if you feel more energy flowing, if you feel more peace. Sitting with any of the energy that came through in the cards and your journaling. Seeing if there is an intention that wants to come forward or an affirmation that you can sit with throughout this coming season. And then just breathing that in and letting it go. Breathing it in and letting it go. And taking one final deep breath and letting it go. All right, and hope you feel supported for the rest of the season ahead, for your day ahead, your night ahead, whatever you are headed into next. And hopefully, now we got puppy snores. Oh, she's really in it. I don't know if you can see. Oh, you can see her little head down there. Yeah, I might have to take a nap myself. It feels like nap time, nap weather. But yeah, I am wondering about when to do these, when to come back here again. We will have our autumn equinox will be on Zoom. So the equinoxes and the solstices we will have on Zoom, a little bit more intimate, a little bit more connected, but I'm thinking about doing the cross quarters here on Substack. So probably we'll be back here live for Samhain. If not before, I've been, thinking, do I want to come here and do tarot readings? Do I want to offer something else, meditations, something? So yeah, I'll see what I feel into. If anybody has suggestions and you want to share, something, and maybe I'll make a poll too to see what others would like in this space. But I have missed doing lives, and I'm really glad that we were able to do this together today. So yeah, sending you lots of love and beauty and gratitude for this Lughnasadh season, and I will see you next time. Until then.